Back. It's another edition of Wrestling is Trash, a nonsensical podcast where we talk about professional wrestling and all the other shenanigans that could happen in the past, the present, quite possibly the future. I got to turn off all my shenanigans right now because I don't want no dings and pings
and
on
rings.
and all that other stuff. You know, trying to get used to this.
Got shenanigans early.
Trying to get used to this watch, baby. Got that new watch, baby.
Yeah.
I think we got the
That's
same
why-
one. When did that one come out?
Yeah, I just got the 7.
I don't know. Was that out in like May?
No, it just came out like last week.
See, it's like never mind. I'm not going on a
I
tangent
got
on that.
I got 6. And yo,
That's
funny
what I
enough,
got.
talking about watches. I thought I lost my watch. I went like 3, maybe 5 months without this thing. Come to find, when I did laundry 2-3 weeks ago, it was inside of one of my hoodies that was in my car for months. And I totally
Good
got
thing you
about
didn't wash that motherfucker.
Hey, but we found it.
Mm-hmm. And look, he cheesing. He froze on cheese. And since Big E is still the champion, I will continue to eat on air.
I know. I think that's what we got to do. I already finished eating, but I think that's just the new thing we have to eat with Big E as champion.
And
So,
as long as Big E is the champion, I'm gonna eat on air.
honestly, I guess we can kind of jump just kind of right into it.
Yeah.
Seeing him live as champ when I went to that SmackDown, because he did the tribute to the Troop Show. Obviously, it wasn't on SmackDown. That was dope. Like, because I remember the first time I saw Big E was in like 2014 when he was the IC champ, but they did nothing with them. And it was like, yo, now this dude, like the WWE champion, like, fuck yeah. Like, it was cool as shit to see it. And he was like really over, not as like just New Day, like as E himself.
Mm-hmm. And Dan, I don't know if you heard me before you left or whatever. I was like, as long as Big E is champion, I'm gonna eat on every time we record.
I'm with that.
We got to keep it going. So,
That's good.
how's everyone been though? Everyone been good? I know we talk in the text and stuff, but visually,
Absolutely. We got to find out why our homeboy broke out. Did anybody talk to him yet?
No clue.
mm-mm.
Okay.
Man. I just want Aaron Rodgers to throw an interception as I keep glancing at the TV. I apologize.
Are they winning?
Right now, yeah, 10-7 in the second, Green Bay.
But
Which I want to see. I want to see Arizona win. I'm a fan of Kyler Murray.
So am I, for fantasy reasons, but also, I like the kid.
Yeah, he's good. Got heart. And they got that just the team.
I can tell you what I'm a fan of. The shit that's going on with Tony Khan and the guys from ROH. I'm enjoying that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
we
so
started talking football and he had to spin it back.
yeah. So wait, so what? Season
got
titty beat. Yeah, it's awesome.
Put the horns on there for the titty meat.
So
season. Hopefully that season is Hooks, Rubs, and Spice.
Hell yeah.
So,
Hooks,
what's
Rubs,
that?
and Spices. Go to hooksrub.com and you can get 15% off your order if you use promo code RAM.
have they
Jay.
besides that post, I think it was Dan sent, right? Yeah, with all these people are gonna sign with them. Have there been anything else? I haven't been on my phone much today to like see anything.
Nah. Other than seeing that their contracts are gonna be released as of January 1st.
Yeah.
But like if they're waiting for the contracts to be released January 1st, like, obviously we've been the forbidden door for 2/3 of this year thus far. Like, are they going to be allowed to work? Because as I just shared with y'all, it's alleged that Tony Khan spoke to a bunch of them, and a bunch of the names and faces that we want to see, like Roosh, Bandito, especially the
Gresham.
Briscoes, like definitely Jonathan Gresham, for real. Like I want to see him and Danielson, him and Omega go at it. Like there's a lot of phenomenal matchups that can be made, but it's did they sign these? And then the other one that we all was talking about in our chat, Orange Cassidy versus Danhausen. Like that would be phenomenal on TV. Like I like Danhausen is so silly. I love it though.
or
So
even
Ring
or
of Honor's last show was right before the pandemic, right?
I think they kept, from what I understand, they
They kept
kept
paying them.
going for a little bit, then they stopped, then they came back and they was doing it with no crowds. I could be totally inaccurate in my statement, so people feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. But I believe
Lou,
that.
show up. Lou, show up because he is the ROH guy out of the crew.
Yeah, I gotta hit
He
up
would
Lou
know.
because I'm one of them. I like go to Ring of Honor late. And what I mean by that is like Kevin Owens debuts in WWE. And I'm like, oh, I heard he was cool in Ring of Honor. Let me go watch his stuff. Like I'm like years behind with that. So I kind of want to be up to date. So when they do pop up, I'm like, oh, I kind of know the cool shit you do.
Yeah.
But I have kind of like not breaking news, like funny news. So if there's one thing I can openly say about me, I love all the companies, whatever. But obviously, I'm more. I'll always be a little biased towards WWE. Grew up on it, whatever. Love my AEW, all that, whatever. But I did some serious thinking the other day since the pay-per-view schedule came out. I think I'm gonna skip Money in the Bank because here's why. I've seen Money in the Bank twice. I've seen a show there. But if all goes well in the world, Double or Nothing's probably going to come to Vegas. And I think I made my decision. I think I'd rather go to Double or Nothing than Money in the Bank.
Yeah. But when is that?
Memorial Day weekend, last weekend of May.
Okay. I might make that trip.
Oh
Because I'm
boy.
trying to what I'm trying to do. What I'm trying to do is knock off all my bucket list of WWE shows, because I haven't been to a Survivor Series. I haven't been
Same.
to a Money in the Bank. And I think that's only the real two that I want to go to, because I've been to a Rumble, I've been to hella WrestleManias and everything. So I scratch those two off my bucket list, and then damn, I'll start going to AEW shows from here on out.
Now,
Yeah. So
AEW,
that's the only
Double or
reason I've,
Nothing
like
in
I said,
Vegas
seen.
sounds enticing. Double or Nothing sounds enticing in Vegas. Like, why the fuck not? I mean, that sounds like something I need to be putting away money for right now. 'Cause I never been to Vegas, and no, I can say the last real wrestling show. I went to an indie show about 2 years ago that a friend of mine was wrestling in. Before that was when EW was on Staten Island. This is
Okay.
Damn.
mid late '90s, and then
Damn.
before that, the only WWF show I've ever been to was when it used to be called the Continental Airlines Arena in Jersey. My father took us, and this was back when Ahmed Johnson
Well,
was
shit,
there.
Damn.
So I
you
don't really
well
get to
overdue,
go
homeboy.
shows like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you deserve to go to one.
Yeah. See,
I
but
do
Um,
indeed.
that's another iffy thing too, because you say May, and I'm going to Vegas anyway in July. So it's like I go in May, then turn around and go back in July.
Why
yeah,
not?
and like I said, if I've never been to a Money in the Bank show, I'd probably go to that because I love Money in the Bank. I do think they always deliver on that pay-per-view. They usually do. But I've already been. Why not go? But I still want to say F. Tony Khan because he still has yet to announce dates of coming to California.
Well, if you man, listen. I'm I'm gonna get a little personal, and I'm not gonna go all the way off. But fuck all of these mandate states right now, especially mine.
Yeah.
And I could get into why because I'm personally affected in a way. I'm sure I don't know if you're hearing, but I'll save that for later. But I want all of these shows to not go to these not to go to these mandates because they need to drop this shit. It's unfair. It gotten to the point where in my city, I'll just briefly say it. November 1st, the shit's about to hit the fan with all of us city employees. To where if you didn't get the first shot, your ass gotta sit home. And because our mayor is on his last days of his last term, he don't give a fuck. And he ain't budget. So I don't want to see no show. And I don't know, like, quick sidebar off onto rap real quick. I don't know if y'all saw, like, after the verses with KRS and Big Day Kane, like they were supposed to go and tour with Rakim and all that. That tour just got canceled because the rappers don't believe in the vaccine, don't want to get the vaccine, and there were shows in states that had mandates, and they were like, "Well, fuck that, fuck you."
So So what I'm curious about with New York does, so when I went to that SmackDown a couple of weeks ago, so I'm vaccinated, got to be military, whatever, right?
I unfortunately had to get it too. I got it.
Yeah.
I didn't want it, but I got it.
So we're twinning, but so it's in so San Diego. So I live in Riverside County, which is right next to San Diego. San Diego County, they have nothing yet, but LA County does. And where the show I went at was technically in LA County, and it said when I bought the tickets, all this like you got to show proof of vaccination or 72-hour status. Now I don't know if it was the staff or they just do it as a scare tactic. So me being whatever, I have it scanned on my phone. I showed the lady my ticket when she scans it, and I was like, "Oh, do you need to see my thing?" And she's like, "No." So I was like, "All right, whatever." Then I went inside, and like these people were kind of around. Someone's like, "Do I have to show you this?" They're like, "No." So it's curious. I wonder if like
Most
that's
of
what
the
I'm saying. I wonder
staff
if
don't care.
that's what I'm saying. I wonder
It's
if
weird,
it's a
like
scare. I wonder if they're using it more as a scare tactic. Like the Patriots are coming here Sunday, and I'm going. It's in LA, so I'm curious to see because my cousin he's not vaccinated, but he got a test today, so 72 hours he's good, whatever. But it's like I want to know if they're actually gonna want to see his proof, or
Well, see, in NFL stadium, it might be different. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah, it's all.
last week before I got the first shot on Sunday, um, we went. My kids wanted to go to their favorite place, which is this buffet out here, and we went in. My wife, I was just go ahead in. I'll sit in the car. I don't care. I'm. That's how I stood on it. Then my wife says, "Come in." They're not checking. So it kind of just depends on the establishment. But the city
Yeah.
themselves is really hard up on it. You know what I'm saying? And that's the difference. Like, and again, for what's going on with us city employees, like there's thousands of us across all ACs that are not budging on this and are willing to go home. And a lot of these unions are like, as soon as they send one person home, this city has got a huge problem on their hands. And I mean a huge problem on their hands. So it all depends where, but like, see, at least California is giving the option of the 72-hour, 48-hour test. New York is like, New York, they want us, it's almost like they want us to get it or nothing. Because like my job, for instance, before they laid down the mandate, they said, give us a test every week. You got to do a test every week. And I was doing it. Flying colors, all negative tests.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm sure a lot of these event spaces, restaurants, and stuff like that, like that's kind of why you haven't seen too many wrestling shows like in New York City area per se. You'll
Which is
see them in
crazy
Long
because
Island.
Survivor Series is in Brooklyn.
Yeah, well, but and I'm sure WWE fan base wise, they probably a lot of people are vaccinated, but a lot of shows that you see going on are outside of New York City. You know, like
Yeah.
AEW was just in Rochester. What is the mayor of Rochester doing? What is the mayor of Long Island doing? Like I seen they did some like indie thing with like I think Kevin Nash, Bubba, Bully Ray, and like Legends was at some shit in Long Island. Like shit, for instance, there's a rap show of all Staten Island. There's a rap show of all Staten Island artists that's being done in Long Island.
Yeah, which is like
Yeah.
nuts. I know.
You know what I'm saying? So,
But it's
for the
because
WWE to come in and the WWE to be coming, I'm sure a large majority of their fan base will be vaccinated, or it will be like that Monday Night Raw in whatever state it was in, where there was mad holes and seats empty.
so
everywhere.
it's funny. It's funny you said the whole part because holes. No, but
Yeah.
when I went to that, so Rob, like what I said pretty much when you were gone is when I went to that SmackDown. When I went to that SmackDown, LA County said you had to be vaccinated or negative test, but they weren't checking, whatever. So like I got there early, whatever, and then it's like the dark match is going on, and I guess I'd say we know, but you haven't been to a show in a minute. But like anything, they do the dark match before like SmackDown or Raw, like 15 minutes before.
I'm aware. Don't play me like that. I'm fucking aware.
No, but So Keith Lee was fighting like some local jobber, and like I would say 20% of the arena was full. And I'm like, shit. I wonder if it's because of the vaccine or what. It was also the night AEW went head to head too. But I was like, yo, me motherfuckers like I ain't going. But the biggest thing I got from when I went to that show on like a different subject with it though is, granted, I've never been to an AEW show, so I can't say who's over, who's not, like organically. But I'll say Roman's on Cena's level. Like even so, like when like Rob and I saw Roman and Cena, and Roman was over, I thought in Vegas, right? But when you're in the bigger place, harder to get like a true reaction. When I was in that arena, like little kids, boys and girls, wives, like grown men, everyone was like cheering the dude. Like he got a bigger pop than Lesnar.
Yeah.
And what was crazy was, so he came out the last segment, and then like he fought 30 minutes later in the tribute for the troops thing. His second pop, the fight, was even bigger than the first one, and we just saw the motherfucker. And it's like,
Yeah.
you know, and I think
The
it's cool
irony. The irony, though, of all of these years, Vince McMahon was trying to make her like Roman Reigns, trying to, and it took them to turn him heel for the fans to fall in love with him.
For a pin.
How
No, it
about
took a pin. I think it took my opinion, I think it took fucking COVID-19.
And you almost would say it almost took him coming out there and making that, "Hey, my name is Joe" speech. Because when he came back, they was hesitant to boo him or whatever because he got over that shit.
Yeah,
But,
you're right. Like that was when he was still half face. When he came back with the fight from leukemia, right? He had leukemia, and he came back from that, and so we all cheered him and all that. But then it was the heel turn is what everybody started to really fall in love with him, and that's kind of where wrestling is today. Is if you're a heel, like you kind of got to work double be a face now. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean,
yeah.
if you ever remember whatever, Roman has always been a heel or whatever. It was just that weird stint in the middle where they was forcing him down that he was a face because he was a heel in FCW.
Yeah.
He was a heel when he came to the main roster, and then shit happened.
I think we can all agree the biggest problem. Yeah, the biggest problem they did with Roman was having him win that first Rumble when Daniel Bryan was still insanely hot. I think if they never did 2015 Roman, I think he would have been fine organically with that character.
Yeah. To go back to the ROH stuff or whatever, from what I saw, they put out a release saying that they're gonna cease operations for a while and come back with a whole different type of show. And then, like how you were saying or whatever, people are going to get paid until January 1st. But if your contract exceeded past that point, you'll get paid up until March.
Yes, I saw that.
So we had,
which is cool, and ROH was paying people during the pandemic too.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Then also
that's what made me realize that company had money.
Yeah. Then also they we got an Eric in the chat. That's emojis that just show up as a whole bunch of words. But also there was other reports or whatever after they put out that release that if the talent wanted to go to other places and work, because this will go back to what you were saying earlier, Dan, if they wanted to go to other places and work, they could. They just had to go through one of the head guys or whatever. They said just contact them and they'll work out an arrangement for them to go do so. So cool. Even though they'll be getting paid up until January or the at least March, they could still have the opportunities to go work in other places and other companies and still do work.
So just to make sure, it'd be as simple as like I'm a wrestling ROH, you're like the boss. Hey man, AEW said I can go work dark, blah blah blah. Like it's kind of like that.
Yeah, but it was just like, hey, go hit up such and such. Make sure you get the dominus, and you can go and do your thing.
I'm really excited to see who goes where, but if AEW really signs all those people, then they just kind of went on a big signing spree with Punk, Bryan, even people like Bobby Fish, and now Wyatt Wyndham, the Fiend, whoever the fuck you want to call him. He free tomorrow.
Yeah.
and he's probably going to go there because I don't know if you read him and Strowman.
Hey, it's that dude. Got titty
Meat,
meat in the chat.
Meat.
Wait,
I don't know. If,
kidding me?
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw Strowman and Wyatt both met with the Impact dude. I don't know what position he was to try to reach a deal for Bound of Glory, and neither one could. And I got to assume it's probably money. You know, they both deserve and probably want money, and Impact can't afford them. So you got to think those two are probably going to show up in AEW.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I don't know, what are they going to do if they sign all this talent?
Yeah,
That's a
and
lot of like, I get it. You have Dark, you have Elevation, but
that was my question as well. That's
Well,
something I was thinking about whenever we seen the supposedly releases that the names of Tony Khan wanted to do work with. And I was just like, well, damn, if they get all those people to do work with them, even if it's just temporarily or not even like a full blown AEW contract, I mean, fuck, where are they going to put all these people at? You know?
it's a lot of people.
well, and see, I didn't look at like how you mentioned Punk, you mentioned Danielson. Like, I didn't look at it as like a mass hiring though. It was massive because
Massive,
of
yeah.
the names. It was massive because of names, but it really wasn't like a mass hire. It was just like the dominoes falling one by one of what we kind of knew was coming. You know what I'm saying? But this here is a mass hiring. And
Yeah.
then again, when you put together the names and stuff and what these people can do, like what Roosh and Bandito them and all the luchadors and stuff, like they could be the real quote unquote masked guys that can go run with Andrade.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got, as I mentioned, the Briscoes, who
Now
they sound like two white.
That's who
guys.
I
Yeah.
really
They sound
want to
like-
see because I actually know them.
that
So
I
really
think out
want
of everybody that could have been signed, those two I think is like the biggest deal because they don't really go too many other places or whatever. They just won
Right,
the GCW Tag Team Championships, and they did some work in New Japan a while back. But I mean, they just all ROH.
didn't Triple H reach
Yeah.
out to them too and they said no?
Yeah, a while back.
Yeah.
but their look. My thing is like their look fits AEW. They're a tag team.
Mhm.
Tag teams. AEW likes tag teams.
Sip the soup.
We know Vince don't like tag teams for some reason.
Well, he
And
does, but he
it
likes
seems
two
like
of them. He likes two tag teams.
Right.
the
He
Profits
loves
and
the New
Usos.
Day.
And
He loves the New Day, even though he loves splitting them up.
No,
But
Vince
but
loves
Briscoes.
pish posh tag teams. Take this single motherfucker, we ain't doing shit, and take this single motherfucker, we ain't doing shit, and go.
Perfect example: Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode.
But they made it work. They made
Yeah.
it work.
Yeah, then they're
You know
gonna
what I'm
break them up.
But AEW has a real tag team division, is what I'm trying to say. Get the
they do.
Briscoes in there with a real tag team division. And again, AEW is more of that indie ROH, PWI, GCW style. Like they're more of what these guys are now leaving and possibly coming into as is.
Now,
So
Yeah.
I want to see them work. I want to see them work.
this whole thing with ROH would have been. I mean, it is tragic to an extent or whatever, but it would have been extra super tragic if AEW wasn't around. Like, say they never.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, because then it's like
Yeah.
who's going to WWE and who's going to Japan. That's all it would have been.
Yeah, that's all it would have really
or
been.
who's
I
going
mean,
to WWE and who's no longer working.
Yeah.
And then, GCW, I don't know what their status would be right now if AEW didn't exist, because I don't think their success totally depends on AEW. But I mean, they've been kicking ass and they're still kicking ass. It's just like every time I look on the app, they got a motherfucking GCW show. And I'm like, God damn.
Yo,
Yeah, no, they're doing good. I
like-
love seeing shit like that.
and like today, I was listening to the Busted Open podcast, and they were talking about going over versus
Bust it open.
going over versus getting over. You know what I'm saying? And BCW, you could say for their fan base, has been going over for years because of the hardcore deathmatch style. But AEW got them over.
Yes.
And made them a name to where I wasn't truly familiar with GCW until I saw the Nick Gage Dark Side. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't aware of them. And then he's on AEW. And then that then turned into the energy with Matt Cardona going over there and doing what he was doing and is doing over there. And just further put a spotlight on this little independent from South Jersey that we all fully know about. And some are more invested now than others.
Now, let me ask, because I like Dark Side of the Ring.
I want to see this on AEW TV. This is Jay Lethal and Gresham right here. I like this combination.
Oh, right, I forgot about Jay Lethal.
Yeah, look at this. Look at this.
Yeah, Jay Lethal. He's one of the few I do know too. That's insane. RKO.
Yo, I forgot about Jay Lethal.
That shit on my screen somewhere.
Yo,
so
Jay Lethal in a short run in AEW would be phenomenal. Though Jay Lethal in WWE would work, but Jay Lethal in WWE would end up being the 24/7 guy, I think.
And Jay Lethal in WWE would wind up being Black Machismo.
That would be fire. I would love that.
No, I would not love that.
I wonder how many. What he does is Macho Man.
Now let me ask you this: see how we kind of to bring it back and maybe be like devil's advocate here.
Taste the soup.
So you know how we're saying like if AEW does sign all those people, what are they going to do? Because that's a lot of motherfuckers, right? Because don't get me wrong, if I'm signing with AEW, I'm not trying to be. Yes, I could see that. I could see why that would hurt you. You're very passionate. But as like if I'm a wrestler, like I'm not trying to get signed somewhere and only be on Dark and Elevation. Like I'm not trying to just be on YouTube. No discredit to those who do it because I could never do it. But you know what I mean? So do you think any of them are kind of like, well, they have a lot of motherfuckers. Maybe I'll take my shot and see if I can get over in NXT.
This is the thing. I mean, and that's well and good too. I mean, NXT, it just depends because, you know, NXT just did that big revamp and they got rid of a lot of their veteran indie guys to bring in more veteran indie guys would kind of be a slap in the face to the ones that just moved away or moved up and whatnot. So, I mean, that's a mixed bag. But what I was thinking about is like, you would be smart to do Dark and Dark Elevation because you just heard Tony Khan talk about their whole library is about to be on somebody's streaming service. So
yeah, I wonder who's going to sign it.
That's syndication. That's money in your pocket. Even if you do a short run, a short turn of matches, it doesn't matter if it's on YouTube or TV proper. That's going to wind up in the streaming service, and that's going to be residual monies in your pocket.
And when mentioning NXT, though it would be a good move, with this 2.0, in some respects, they still have a lot of their little guys. But with Braun Breaker and Von Wagner, or if that's his name, or whatever, whatever. But I think Vince is trying to bring it back as if it's a new Monster Factory again. Because we know Vince loves the big man. You know what I'm saying? And he's gonna be putting those big guys over again, so he could transition them into main roster superstars because they are monsters. And how many of them coming over from ROH are monsters?
Yeah. I'll admit though, I'm a fan of NXT 2.0 so far. Like they're not doing awful things. They really aren't. Mm-hmm. Like granted, I'll always love NXT in general, you know, but 2.0 ain't been bad, especially my Italian brother, fucking Tony D'Angelo. That's my boy. It's so great because he's such a bad Italian stereotype that like, because obviously I'm from an Italian area. Me and my boys love this dude. We think he's the greatest thing. Like if you watch The Sopranos, he literally referenced in his first promo, I have family in the waste industry. That's just someone literally saying, how can we make this guy as close as we can to Tony Soprano? And I thought it was hysterical, and I love it. And I hope.
So is he acting New Jersey Italian? Is he acting Staten Italy, or is he acting Brooklyn Italian?
I would say Brooklyn Italian. They're trying to make him more of like a G about it at the same time too. Okay. But yeah, I don't know. I'm a fan of him. I haven't back at it.
We got into that WWE hole a second. Let's get back to ROH. We'll fall into your WWE rabbit holes all the time. let's not forget about Impact. I even though I love to forget about Impact, how many of them possibly go work over there?
Yeah.
Oh,
They need
yeah.
it. They need it because I'm tired of
I
seeing
want to know how
the
much
same motherfuckers
Impact.
over and over again. And then I be god damn if they didn't have this pay-per-view that just passed. And who started the motherfucking show? The goddamn Decay. Decay always starting the goddamn show, and it gets on my goddamn nerves.
I honestly thought that ending to Bound for Glory was great.
I didn't even get to finish the whole show, but from what I
Oh,
saw,
well,
I
I'm
was
not
like,
gonna wait.
oh, it was
okay,
Shenanigans. I already know.
But that's good creative, I think. You put my
Maybe.
man's down with his wife and kid in the ring. That's
Yeah, because
great.
Moose ending. Yeah, I did see that.
Oh, that's
was
literally.
phenomenal.
I
That was
honestly think that's
phenomenal.
one of the coolest endings to a pay-per-view I've seen in a long time.
dude, Nick, that's what I thought was going to happen to Kofi when you won.
Yeah,
I was like, get him out of there. Hurry up.
Yeah, Dan, I'll never forget. Yeah, he was. We were talking earlier. I have to tell this story quick. So it almost worked out. We're in Walmart conveniently during the day, and Rob's like, "Watch, Seth and Brock are gonna go on first. Seth's gonna win. Brock's gonna walk away all pissed off. Him and Heyman. Kofi's gonna win, and Paul's gonna come out and say blah blah blah." So then Seth and Brock fucking opened the show. And Rob's like, no, it's going to happen. And then Kofi won. And everyone in this arena is like so happy. And Rob's like, get the fuck out the ring. Get the fuck out the ring. When the lights went dark, that's when Rob like celebrated. He celebrated like the initial 3 count, I'll say for about 30 seconds. And then he was like, no, they even got a new belt. No, get them out of here.
I was just adamant to think that motherfucker was going to screw Kofi over, which Brock did wind up screwing Kofi over later.
Yes.
So it worked out
No, but
later.
That Impact, I thought Bound for Glory was good. I actually streamed bits and pieces of it. Thought it was pretty good.
Word. I'm going to have to go back and check it out as well.
Did you ever? You didn't respond, but I know we always don't respond to every text. Did you see that thing I sent? The New Japan thing they put on my car when I was at the show?
Yeah. You said you wanted to go, but you wasn't sure.
Yeah, I'm going to Lejeune for training. And it's like, right when I'm like, yo, I actually think I'm going to get serious about trying to follow these motherfuckers, I can't even go.
Yeah.
I'm low-key upset.
I mean, you might be able to go to that joint with Bo Dallas, right?
I don't know. How far is that from Jacksonville? I didn't look it up. I didn't know if you know off the top of your head.
Which one?
The Winston-Salem? Because there's a SmackDown. There's a SmackDown the day after Thanksgiving. Yeah, there's a SmackDown in Greensboro the day after Thanksgiving. But that's like 3.5 hours. I don't know if SmackDown's worth driving 3.5 hours for.
Nah.
I don't, especially when I just went, I don't think it's worth it.
Let's see. I'm about to pull up the map search. And you said it's in Winston-Salem?
Yeah, I think that's what it said. Let me see. Here, let me check our chat quick.
Oh, that's a grip. It's about 3 hours. 3 hours and 30 minutes.
Yeah, nah, I'm all set. I guess we can get on the. I know we're gonna get back to the Ring of Honor thing, all that, but I don't get how we've gone 33 minutes and haven't mentioned King Woods yet.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit.
I was so excited,
and that was another thing for me too, man. I was like, it's WWE. They're gonna take this dude's childhood dream and shove it up his ass and everything.
But like, what I hate is how people are like, yeah, he won. Now let's make him a heel and have him turn on Kofi. Like, no. Do you mofos not listen? Those motherfuckers don't ever want to end the New Day. Stop saying this shit. Like, my thing is I would love to see a triple threat match. The 3 of them for like the WWE title. That's the furthest I'd like to see.
Very good, Stoop. And hey, man,
would you agree
just
with
like this to me, my opinion, this solidifies New Day as the greatest stable tag team group in freaking WWE history. to me.
Yep, and I agree with you because I listened to Wrestling Inc. Raj, who's very smart, has all his insights. He said NWO. It's still not NWO because think about it like this:
Mm-hmm.
Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and Hogan, 2 out of 3 were champions. Scott Hall, love him, but he never really got big.
No.
The Shield, they all have been champions, but they didn't last long enough. That's the thing. The New Day's lasting, I think, longer
Longevity.
than NWO. Right? New Day's definitely been around longer than NWO.
I mean,
7 years.
That would be a Brian question because he has all the knowledge and the history and stuff. I mean,
yeah, I don't know how long NWO
it feels like
was technically. Yeah, they've been together since 2014. And then I think it's just like you said, you can probably agree, just the story on how pretty much 3 dudes were like, fuck it, we're going to take a shot. Probably going to lose our jobs. Maybe not Kofi, but Woods and E probably would have, sadly.
Yeah.
And then look, one got a huge main event match at WrestleMania. Big E got everything he's been doing. Xavier Woods wins. Like, granted, like, a lot of people shit on the Saudi shows, but those are big shows.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, did you watch Crown Jewel?
It's a good show. It's just the environment.
Did you watch it at all?
Yeah, I watched it. I didn't finish it.
It was a great show, I thought. What did you think of Goldberg and Bobby?
I fast forward through it.
I thought it was good for what it was.
It's just like I accidentally fast forward through it as well because it was just like I skipped the entrances and then it was like in the middle of the match. I was like, I probably didn't miss nothing. And then the spot off the stage and I was like, oh, well, fuck it. I ain't going back.
I was so mad because obviously it comes on at a weird time. Well, you have Thursdays off, so I guess you didn't watch live, but whatever. So You know me, I'm bad with reading spoilers. I've gotten a lot better. But all day I was like, I'm not going on my phone, not going on social media, blah, blah, blah. So for work, I'm one of the people that can run the unit's Instagram page, and they wanted me to post something. So you know how it is, you got to switch profiles. Right when I opened it, it was Woods. And I was like the one thing I didn't want spoiled got spoiled. I was so salty.
Yeah, that same thing kind of happened to me too. Is just like I seen when it was a spoiler for Zelina's victory, and I was like, well, shit, that's 1 out of 2 that I wanted to win. So I mean, that's good. And I was like, but Woods is the one I had fingers crossed, and I was holding my breath about and everything. And it was just.
You think any Americans travel to that show?
I wouldn't be surprised, man. I would not be surprised as much if there's not a travel ban or restriction or whatever. I probably.
Like, let me ask you: if you were still in and you were stationed in Oki, whatever, all's right in the world, no travel ban. Like, would you think about going?
I don't know.
Because obviously Americans probably go to where they're at for that huge festival and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I say Oki because it's probably a lot cheaper. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe somebody might be deployed to Afghanistan right now, and they're going their R&R trip
to Saudi. I'm really curious to see what happens with this Ring of Honor stuff, and I just don't want to see. And I don't know if this is what happened in TNA back in the day because I didn't really pay it no mind. Or in WCW, I was too young. You can definitely vouch more. I would say more WCW. Do you think AEW could end up in the predicament like WCW where they do sign too many people?
Well, the predicament that WCW got in is slightly different because they did sign an assload of people, but there was guaranteeing money. So that was already bleeding their pockets. And then now they let the freaking inmates run the asylum, you know?
Well, I was going to say, didn't everyone in the NWO have creative control?
Shit, Kevin Nash was booking the shows.
I spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool.
You know? So, I mean, they had a whole bunch of internal and behind the scenes issues that ultimately killed them and shit. So, because what we found out wound up being the real cancer of the thing was, you know, Nash, Hogan, Bischoff, Russo, and everything. And just.
Who were you more of a fan of growing up? I've never really asked you that.
I watched them both.
Yeah.
Because WCW came on an hour early, you know, an hour before Raw. So then I watched the first hour, which the first hour they were jam-packed with like Rey Mysterio, Psychosis, Juventud Guerrera, Dean Malenko, Chris Benoit, freaking Jericho. And that's the best hour of the show, you know? And then once that hour was up, I turned the VCR on and record the other 2 hours, and I flip over and watch Raw. And then when Raw was over, I rewind the tape and I go back and finish watching WCW.
So y'all want to laugh
I was
quick?
WCW guy.
So
I was a WCW guy myself. Yeah.
So a few months ago, like I said, I'm going on a cruise in April. So just remember that. We were like, yo, we should go on a vacation. Like, I've never been on one since I've been in the military. Blah, blah, blah. And my girl was like, let's go on a cruise. I was like, awesome. Jericho's having a cruise in March.
That
And she's like, she's like, you know her. She's chill, but she's like, that's where I kind of draw the line.
That's why I draw the line.
Yo,
I want to
need
go on
get
it
on one of
eventually.
those. They just did it. They just did it, and that shit looked fun as hell. I need to go on one of those.
I wish
But
they would
sell out
didn't
like
they?
this.
Didn't when AEW first started? Didn't they run Dynamite from the cruise?
Yep.
I wonder why they didn't do that again. Maybe because they're traveling more or whatever. And I don't know. But hopefully in March they do it again because I thought that was really freaking cool.
Well, they do run shows. They did run show. Like, did I share it in our group message with Yeah, I did. Jericho and R. Cassidy did the joint intro together.
Yeah.
That shit was fire. Chris had the shirt like Orange Cassidy with his face on it, and they remixed Orange Cassidy's music into Judas.
Oh shit,
man!
Look that up.
Yeah, our
boy Lou in the chat is over Judas though. I'm not. I think Judas is great.
No.
I just like the fan aspect of it or whatever. It's just like there's never been an entrance that I can recall that people were that really into. And I think it's almost almost an AEW thing. If you have a theme that's like sing along worthy or whatever, the crowd is doing that shit because they're doing Punks and they're doing Judas, and then
and they're gonna do Coles. They're gonna do Coles eventually once they get it down.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they do the Adam Cole.
They do,
and then
they do
the boom. They do, and Jungle Boy's theme too, which that's one that I'm tired of. That's the one I'm tired of. That shit is just too 80.
What I'm not tired of is on Dark or Elevation when Taz be singing the goddamn Jungle Boy song and shit.
You know what
Taz
I'm not
being there
tired
full
of?
on going, oh, singing the song on commentary.
You know what I'm not tired of? Mandy Rose's amazing body.
Whoop.
That last photo was insane. But yeah, I had to say that quick. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's what's cool. I think AEW definitely has better themes. AEW definitely has better themes.
It stops right at Max Caster. That's what I was going to say. I will never get tired of a Max Caster intro. Never.
Yep.
What do you guys...
Ever.
That's the guy, old boy who was beefing with Hit Row, right? Top Dollar.
Yeah.
What you think of Top Dollar's diss with Young Buck? Let me in. I thought that was pretty dope.
I didn't hear it.
Man,
I heard
something. But he did it. Wait, he did it with Young Buck.
No, on the Young Buck.
Yeah,
beat.
well, Young Bucks.
So,
Young Bucks.
No, I thought you. My bad. I thought you were saying G Unit Young Buck because that's easy fucking bars with Max Caster. That's if it was G Unit Young Buck, oh my goodness, he could go in on that one because of the Alphabet Boys and Young Buck's recent soirees with the with the.
I used to love Young Bucks.
I'm not getting us in trouble.
I used to love, man. When I still love 50 Cent. He's in my top 10 favorite of all time, personally. Mine. I love. You don't like 50 Cent? How do you not like 50 Cent? Man, if you ain't the fakest New Yorker I've ever met. Don't me.
All right, Nick. Let's just remember your age, young boy. Let's remember your age, young man.
Hey, I love me some old school rap, but 50 was 50. 50 was on.
Sorry for the sidebar, B-Rob, but because your teen years,
I'll just drink some
when Your teen years was when he was hot. Your youth was when he was hot. I was still in my late 20s at that time, and he didn't hit me the
Oh,
way he might
even
did
Brian,
the
like,
high school
wow.
kid.
Wait, is he saying wow he don't like 50 or that
No,
I like 50?
your takes is what he's wowing about, I assume.
See, but see,
What up, Brian?
This is where you can't let my age get into factor. Because if you say like my top 5, they're all older people. Because I actually
can
love
respect
rap
that.
music.
I can respect
I'm
that.
just saying, 50 was fucking on.
Lyrically, he wasn't
I
there.
don't think
But
he's
was
the
he
top
was
10.
he a movement? Was he a movement? Yes. G Unit was like you. It was unavoidable. Let's just say that.
See, I think
But
where
how
you're
much I love
getting
50? I just say how much I. No, I'm not getting confused. I respect your love for 50. I'm not. It's just me. But how much I did not like 50's music. I only own one, and this is back when I was buying vinyl to do parties and shit. I only own one copy in the club. That's the only 50-cent record I own. And I only bought that one record.
I'm a heel.
Wow,
I'm a heel. No. So
He's a
just
heel.
to make sure just so you make sure we're on the same page. He's in my top 10, just like favorite, not top 10 of all time.
And they're subjective, and that list is subjective. That's why I'll let you have it. I can't dispute you. I can't dispute you because it's subjective. That's your list. You know what I'm saying? I'll never dispute that. So no worries. No worries. There's no hate. There's no hate for you.
There's no more soup.
Hey, you're still a fake New Yorker. No, I'm just kidding. I'm the heel of the night. I'm usually the white meat baby face, no pun intended. But I'm the heel. I'm the heel tonight.
Yeah, but another thing, more AEW stuff. What you think of that Cody Rhodes promo? Did you get to hear it?
I missed it because I was at work. What was it? Sum it up.
Let's see if I can pull it up while you Dan, you get
Yeah, I was at work.
Well,
AEW is also getting more on my favorite side because they're about to start airing live on the West Coast and on the East Coast same time. So AEW, they're like, we got to win Nick Anasilli over more and more, and they're doing it so far.
I heard about the promo, B-Rob, and because I missed, like I tend to do, I missed the Dynamite, but I heard about the promo, and something I heard Bully Ray say that made 1,000% sense when it comes to it is Cody needs they need like a serious big bad to really like make Cody effective. You know what I'm saying? Because he's the face of the company, but how we mentioned that Roman got booed while he was a face, Cody gets booed because quote unquote people are tired of him. They look at him as being Hollywood, yada yada. There needs to be somebody stronger than a Malachi Black come through and take him out.
Well, now
I love
that's some of the things that you just hit on. That's what he hit on in the promo. He talked about because he did. If you've seen the match, he did the Tiger Driver 99 or 98 or whatever the fuck. Everybody thought he was about to do the pedigree. He even brought that up in the promo as well, talking about I thought about using a different move or whatever. And then he also was talking about how he is the reason, the lights are on in this place and he write the checks so people look at him differently and whatnot. I mean, I got the promo pulled up right here. We can kind of
wait, before you play it, if you don't mind me asking. So I liked Cody in WWE. I don't mind him now. He's never been like one of my favorites, but why is he so hated? Like this dude is kind of one of the reasons this whole thing happened. Like why? Like he's not winning the title, all that. Like why don't they like? Cause I didn't watch AEW a lot in the beginning, just because I just honestly didn't like the first 3, 4, 5 months. But when I first started watching, he was already getting booed and shit like crazy, and I'm like, yo, this dude literally lost a match where he can't fight for the world title. Like he's doing the opposite of not booking himself. So that's why I don't get why they don't like him. Like what? I don't. Maybe I'm misreading
your
it.
concerns is what was covered in the promo.
Now let's watch. I'm sorry.
I think Dan froze up. It's 7 minutes and some change. So I don't know if we'll listen to all of it.
Nah, just if you can send it, I'll just Google it and I'll look it up later.
I mean, I got it up. Can you hear it?
Barely.
Let's see.
It's kind of got the serious fit on. Yeah, see, like I can't hear shit.
They booing him right now.
Armed with the Glock.
Oh, hey.
I'll answer the question when
Armed with the Glock.
Whether you believe it or not,
I got the shirt in the house.
I hear you.
Can y'all hear it?
Mm-hmm.
I hear you online. I hear old
Apologize
wrestling
if you can't
managers
hear it on
shouting at
the
clouds on
feed.
social media, and I heard you this Saturday. I had one of the best wrestlers in the world, Malachi Black. I hooked under one arm. I hooked under the other arm. Ultimately, I would hit a Tiger Driver 98, as Excalibur pointed out so beautifully, but for a brief moment, for a glimmer, I thought about hitting a very different move. And what would happen? What would happen had I hit that move? Would I have popped up? Would I have sneered? Would I have abused my executive vice president role? Would I have broken the covenant between you and I, challenged for the world title, and won the world championship? Do you want to know why I didn't?
I like that Triple H shot.
That's too easy.
Gotta get the
No,
Glock.
not the matches. The matches would be hard, but that is the easy way out. I feel like as a fan, you have your right to do whatever you want. You can cheer. You can boo. But if you're going to boo the narrative, boo the true narrative. Nobody has any problem acknowledging the man who signs the checks, but please don't forget the man who built this bank. And please do me a favor. Like I said, that's the easy way. It's not in my nature. Do yourself a favor. I put myself in your shoes. Put yourself in mine for one night here, all right? Put yourself in mine. Think about it. I grew up in front of you. I debuted at 20 years old. No knee pads, no muscles. I've got a wife that's too hot for me. I've got a brother that, if you honestly think about it, Bell the Bell, he's a Hall of Fame player. Dustin Rhodes is likely better than I am. I got a daughter that I barely deserve, and I have a father that, if I lived to be 300 years old, I would not be able to leave behind the cultural legacy that he did. So the easy way out, is not the way. I will not turn.
He pulling a John Cena.
I was just gonna say
The reason
that.
is because simple, and I don't mean to pander, but I love you guys very much, and I've loved you my entire life. So if anybody thought that maybe I got a little Hollywood, that I got away from where my eyes should be, allow me to apologize. I apologize to each and every one of you. I apologize to everyone in the Nightmare family: Brooke Havoc, Dylan, Sean Dean, Lee Johnson, Brock Anderson, my own brother, and Sir. If I've never told you, allow me to tell you right now, it is a damn honor to stand in the ring with you. I apologize You were right.
And this is where Andrade kind of interrupt him, and they have banter and shit.
He made fun of the tattoo.
See,
Yeah, he did.
y'all see me on camera, right? Y'all see me? I'm good. Same issue I was talking about pre-show. All right, so first thing
Dialing.
first, he could have left out the bank part, because that's kind of part of the reason why the people don't like him, because they know. Let's remember when AEW first kicked off, he had to be kind of one of those faces that was out there every night. And so to me, it became a Cody being force-fed on us type of thing. And that's kind of why it was like matches that a lot of people thought he probably should have lost. He was winning and kept winning and kept winning. And then, yeah, he came out with the Homelander outfit, his old ring gear coming in, just feel like it kept getting more gaudier and gaudier. And that's what kind of made people, in my opinion, really, really like, you know what, fuck this guy. Like he mentioned, going Hollywood, you know what I'm saying? I think the first turn, if there's any turn he needs to make to try to, quote unquote, get on the people's side, is get rid of that blonde hair. Get rid of the blonde hair look, but he still needs a big bad. And if the Wyndham and Adam Scherr thing, and they come to there, those two, this is just fan fiction here, but those two could be the big bad. You know what I'm saying? That really, really
I'd be cool.
takes Cody out or puts Cody on the map.
You know what would make him the most dirtiest player in the game? If he grew that mustache back.
But I love the Triple H shot in there, though, when he said, I could have used this one and the whole world championships and all that other. I love that Triple H shot.
Speaking of, I guess, the intertwined connections, we've been saying this for months on the show. I think we're getting closer and closer to Charlotte being there.
Yeah.
We're getting closer, and I really hope for that. It's just, it's kind of like, she's kind of like the Cena of that division. Like,
you can see the writings on the wall.
Like, do you think they just don't let her go? Because my thing is this: at this point, I think she'll be done. If Andrade's still in AEW and doing good things, she's gonna go there. She's 1,000% gonna go there. Do you think she just goes there sooner or later?
Hey man, you can never say never anymore. So I mean,
right.
it's plausible. It's possible. You know, she let a contract run out, and she just gone do the thing.
Man, I just hope Jade wins the TBS.
I'm with you on that. I said on Charlotte.
I think it might
I
be.
hope for sooner. I hope for sooner on Charlotte, because you know it really is starting to really feel like her time over there is done, in my opinion. You know, it's really starting to feel that way. It's almost over, and it's about time she needs to see different competition. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And people been sleeping, but the division that people were complaining about with AEW, which is the women's division, has gotten
all the way around
a lot better. And what would you say is the turning point? Because to me, the turning point was the Thunder Rosa Britt Baker match. It was like the real turning point.
That was a good one.
AEW's women's roster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the signing of Thunder Rosa and you know, them consistently having Serena Deeb and everything, that was like the turning of the tide and everything. So I do agree with that. And then they just started getting more people.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's what it was in the beginning. You had like no one. And you don't want to, because the thing is like,
because we've seen Nyla Rose way too much.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? You don't want to broadcast like people who aren't ready.
I do too, but I'm just saying, we've seen it too much. Titty me.
Yeah. But that's you gotta, like, what keyword, Nick, you just said, not ready. And that was the thing, was we were watching these women work out the kinks live on television. And like
Yeah.
when Britt Baker first came in, like she's a totally different woman now.
Oh yeah.
When she first came
Just
in, I
even the
was just like,
look.
"Ooh, this was
Mm-hmm.
messy. She was sloppy." But once she got into quote unquote bitch mode and became that bitch, like, well, that's Jay Cargill's, my bad. But
Yeah.
once she became like that bitch in a way, not before Jay Cargill and all that, like she turned it over. She turned over a new leaf. But Britt Baker, the beginning, the face DMD, nah, she
Yeah.
wasn't it to me. She wasn't it.
And then what
Like I
wasn't
said,
she the one in the female tag match to where she went to the wrong corner and tagged the wrong Asian person?
I don't remember
Or was that the
that.
bunny?
I don't remember, but
It was
Jesus.
either her or the bunny did that shit. Because they both
But
had a
yeah,
woman
man.
counterpart and she went to the wrong corner.
So let me ask you, what do you think they do? Because I've been seeing it kind of a lot online. I think internet fans like us all want to see Jade win, right?
Yes.
But
Yeah.
Ruby's in the tournament. I think hands down, the way the bracket's set up, it's 1,000% going to be them two in the final. But do you think they give it to her instead of Jade? So like not for whatever reason, maybe because hey, you came in, you lost right. I hope not. I like Ruby. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
But
Brian confirmed it was the bunny.
okay.
Yeah, but
I'll go after you, B-Rob.
I think this was already written in stone before Ruby got there, because this TBS title ain't
Jade.
nothing brand new. Or what I mean, it's new to us, like publicly and visually, but this has been in the works for a minute, and I believe that this is Jade's title. Now,
Yeah.
would I be upset if she lost and didn't take it? No, not really. Because I like just about everybody in the women's division, everybody in this tournament. And, anybody can go up there, because Sheeta could win it. I think, I forget who advancing on or whatever, but I mean, a
Man,
number
I
of those
like
individuals could win it, and I would be
Sheeta.
okay with it. But I think Jay gonna get
I like Sheeta, and Sheeta got like screwed because of the pandemic, I think.
the hose belt.
To be honest, now I don't think so. Like her, like,
She
well, the
carried
one
it.
great thing it did for her, yeah, is she's the longest reigning women's champion over there for right now.
Yeah.
But that's the beautiful thing. But I think she did what she needed to do with it, and she did a great job with it. I.e., she was like the Drew McIntyre of the women's
Yeah, I was about
side
to
of
say that. Drew
carrying the belt,
McIntyre.
carrying the belt during the pandemic, but she held it for a lot longer. There was a lot of bouncing of the title. But
Did
Jade Cargill, I would be upset, B-Rob, if she did lose, because this, like you just said, this thing is tailor made for her. And to my recollection, also, she's never lost a singles match yet, right?
Nope.
I think she's got a kind of, it's almost like a women's Goldberg thing with maybe a few more moves than Goldberg, where runs into the title undefeated, and then we get her on TV more than Dark. They need her on TV. They've been using her on Dark because she definitely needs the seasoning. She
Yeah.
looks amazing on Instagram all the time,
Oh boy.
but that ring work, she needs the seasoning. And I think that by time the tournament is done, she should be fine-tuned enough
And then I
that
think,
we get to see all of that on TV every
and I
week.
think the
But
tournament was
this
to that benefit as well, to where like she get
Right.
those experiences with those caliber of opponents and whatnot to help with her skill to get her ready for the next level.
But this could also be one of them situations where the title makes the person. Like her getting the title,
I think,
not just because she's champ, but helps get her to that new level, because she's gonna, like you said, have to get those reps. Because when you're a champ, you got to be on TV.
Yeah, I see that point, but I think it's more than makes the person. To me, in this case, it defines her. Like it's that defining moment of, I'm finally here, I'm finally ready.
Yeah. Because she's
A
been undefeated.
weekly fight, let's do this.
Yeah, because she's been undefeated for a minute. And by now she should have well enough been ran through Britt Baker and, snatched the title. But I feel like the thing with AEW is they have a lot of viable champions, but they want to see their stories through to completion, i.e.,
Yes.
Kenny Omega. The story has been written since day one for Hangman to get that title off of him and everything. And they've been writing this story for the longest of time. So, I mean, you do have Brian there who could potentially skyrocket up to the, title contingency, but it's not his time. The story is not written with him in mind right now. I mean, Punk can weasel his way in there somehow, but the story is not written for his time. The story with Punk is he's still trying to find his way after being gone for so long. The thing with Brian is he's trying to wrestle anybody and everybody.
Right. And
So,
he made it known. I'm here. I'm not here to just pussyfoot around. Like, I'm here to go after the top ASAP.
Yeah. He said that the title will come eventually. And, but right now I'm just trying to wrestle the best in the world.
I think he'll get the title first. And when him and Punk do get at it for the first time, it'll be for the title. But here's where you kind of say the storyline thing, right? Because I'm assuming everyone probably wants Hangman to be the one to take it off Kenny. But you also got that story with, but you also got the, not as big, obviously, and definitely not as long, but you got the one with Brian and Kenny too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, does Danielson take it from Hangman? Because I think the finals is going to be Moxley and Brian.
Nah, see, I see Hangman taking it.
Mm-hmm.
I see Hangman taking it, but then Danielson and Omega really get their rivalry on. And looking at, as we mentioned earlier, going back watching old matches, I want to see them do their little arm wrestling thing in the middle of the ring again. I don't know if
the John Jingle
I don't know if y'all
Hammersmith?
seen that. I want to see that little piece of comedy come back, but no, I think a real Danielson Omega comes. I mean, they're kind of working that now with the whole, was it Lucha House, whatever the fuck they are. What's the damn Jungle Express or whatever the fuck?
Yeah.
Jurassic Express.
Oh yeah,
Jurassic Express and him
Either or.
versus the Elite. They're kind of working that now, in my opinion. But like B-Rob said, it's already set up for Hangman, and Hangman is doing his little things, like he did the Ghostbusters thing the other night in the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man thing, and it's working itself to finally give us that payoff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it's been great. But quick question to y'all, because we've been talking about AEW and long stories, like I personally think that that's one of them things that they have been getting right almost from day one.
Yeah.
Is their long-form storytelling has been on point.
The only thing that I didn't,
to be honest,
they kind of fumbled with is they told this story in a title eliminator tournament or whatever about 10 and Mox, how they had that fight a while back and Mox hurt his arm. He was out with a bicep tear, and then they had this match and it was just like Mox beat the shit out of him again.
Buzzsaw. Straight.
Yeah, the only big like fuck up I think they had, and it was a big one in my opinion, was that ending to the Omega Moxley match with the sparklers.
But my heart. the exploding
there's many
death
things
match.
with that. They probably didn't have the right kind of professional for that. And then, I mean, how big could you do something like that with a crowd around the ring?
And that's why you don't do things like that, in my opinion. Like, I think it was a good shot they took. It just didn't turn out good. You can't be perfect.
They're going to do it again. Then they're going to get it right.
But that was you can't say that was good.
You do that with a crowd around the ring. Go back and watch what's happened in Japan. But they turned that. They still made positive out of that.
Yeah.
And that's where the amazing storytelling and AEW's creative has been phenomenal, because they turned it into a running joke for the next few weeks, even with the Elite, and this pointing the finger at, yo, this was your idea, Kenny. Oh. You did this. Nobody else did this. You did this. And then it helped Mox and Kingston come together. part
Yeah.
due also
Also-
too with Pac in England and the pandemic and all that. Like it still set everything perfectly
Yeah.
after that.
Also
And they
to
made
add
perfect
layers.
I still thought it really fucking
Yeah.
sucked.
Also to add layers to that as well, what you was talking about, Dan, and whatnot. If you listen to, because Eddie Kingston does commentary for one of the dark shows and whatnot, and anytime they have pyro, he flipped the fuck out like he got PTSD and shit. And he always bring up and shit. So he is stuck with his character.
See, yeah, and that I think it's good how they did the storytelling, but at that instant moment, they fucked that up. You can't deny that. That instant moment, they messed it up.
Yeah, see,
exactly. Great match.
what Brian
like
just
Brian's
said.
great
The match was great.
But yeah, but the post match was awful, and you can't deny that was awful. Yes, they might have recovered from it, but in time, that was awful.
Yo, I remember it too vividly because I was sitting on the couch. Like, that was the first AEW pay-per-view I paid for. Super excited because, like I said, it reached into my heart and my soul of Japanese deathmatch wrestling. And then when that shit went off, I was like, I laughed. I laughed myself to bed. Like, are you serious? Did this really happen?
I thought it was funny.
Like,
see, like, yeah, like, and that was see, it's granted because they fucked that up and it sucked, but it didn't suck like boo. Like everyone genuinely got a laugh out of it because it was like, because here's my thing, I've never really watched that style like you guys said, so I could see you, but me, I'm like, is this the thing?
Well,
like, is this what's supposed to happen?
Yeah, I had never watched it either. But leading up to it, I've seen clips and other things. And to like what you were saying, Dan, yeah, they be around the ring, but like this is the ring and this is all the pyro and the motherfuckers is not right here like how they was at the AEW show. I mean, they be back a little ways.
I don't remember a crowd though. I thought because that match I think was filmed.
That was Daly's place.
Yeah, they still have people
and I don't
there,
think there was a crowd there.
They always had people.
But at that time though, because of the pandemic, they also had the people seated in the seats, and that was in the era where they had the wrestlers around the ring and the people in the seats. So they might have been there, but they weren't close.
Yeah. So my thing I want to say, just so it doesn't come off that way, I thought that was an A+ for effort and ballsy, and I like that. But it was just like. They fucked it up in the end, but whatever. You're not going to get it all right.
They believe
on,
you. They're going to do that shit again, and then this time, I think they're going to over deliver.
They're going to call.
Oh my God! Someone's going to die.
They're going to call the guy who created it.
Yeah, that's what I think. Brian
they
and them
got
said
to
that.
call Onita.
Yeah, I think Brian and them said that too on their show. Is just like they're going to get him to do it, Onita, and
they have to.
Yeah, it's kind of like a good example of that is when the Hardys didn't come back yet, and they did that stupid House of Horrors match with Randy and Bray that was awful. But then once Matt signed, him and Bray did the whatever Ultimate Deletion, I think it was called, with Matt's boy. What is it, Jeremy Borash, I think his name is, and it was good. And that's the same guy who did the Boneyard match and all that. Like you sometimes just need that guy to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so you can't hate on them for doing it. I don't hate on them at all for doing it. I thought, like, hey, fuck yeah. It was better than at the time. What was it? Was it right before or right after that WWE did the zombies?
Zombies.
That was the zombies.
That was after, I think.
You know what?
That was after.
I prefer the sparkler explosion over the zombies.
Yes. Zombies, yes. Because at least that. Did you guys watch that movie?
The zombie thing. No.
Yeah, you're talking about the explosion barbed wire thingy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so me and my girl watched the Army of the Dead movie with Batista or whatever. It was actually pretty decent. It wasn't like awful.
Mm-hmm. Now they're gonna make Army of Thieves.
Nah.
Yeah. Like, hey, credit they were shouting out Batista very hard for that movie. And whatever. So hey, respect to them respecting their homie, but y'all could have done better than that.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say, even Batista shit on that which was hilarious.
Yeah.
He's like,
It's
he's
just
like, I did
like-
not. He's like, I did not know about this. I did not sign up for this.
and that's one of the big. That's like, see, that's one of the big things that I respect more about Tony Khan than Vince. Like Vince, he's starting to get the competitive side again, and I love competition. Like, granted, I'm not like these people on Twitter who are like, they did this, no, they did this, no, they like, I don't care that bad. Like, I don't give a fuck about ratings. I don't give a fuck about viewers. Like, yeah, I just like what was better, like in my opinion, right? But like, I like when Vince like competition. Tony, I love the competition in him. But like, I could picture Tony like watching the sparkler thing, like with his hands in his pocket. Like, yep, we fucked that up. And Vince is watching the zombies, like, and Vince is watching the zombies, like, that's some good shit. Like
Exactly.
that's the difference.
Exactly.
Like Vince is too egotistical to be like, wow, that sucked. Where Tony, like I said, Tony was probably sitting there with like a cigarette in his mouth, like, yeah, we punted that one to the bleachers.
Yeah, and then what I
But
like about Tony
while-
Khan,
since you-
man, is just like, I don't think he's doing this to be competition, but like he plays the role. He is the Vince McMahon of his organization as it refers to the internet. So like when
Yeah.
people be putting out these stories about AEW or whatever, he'll jump in the comments or whatever and just play the role and whatnot. But I don't think he gives a fuck.
I was gonna.
Yeah,
So I was gonna say,
he
do
owns it.
you
He
like
owns
that? Like, do you like how involved he is? Like, to see how Vince doesn't do interviews. Like, do you like that? Because that's one thing I do like about Vince, though. Low key is like the mystique.
Well,
No,
we don't
I
see
do
see
enjoy
Tony
it.
Khan on TV as we saw Vince on TV, but we will hear about Tony Khan on the internet more than we do on TV. And I like this.
I
Shit.
saw
This
a
shit is
thing,
funny to me.
Because have you? Yeah, I like Tony Khan. Like I said, have you been seeing Bischoff like shitting on them?
Yeah, because
Shitting
Bischoff
on
is
them.
under the impression is like, hey man, I've been there and done that or whatever. You fucking up, and Tony Khan is like, dude, I am nothing like you, and you can kiss my ass.
Yeah,
For real.
Eric's pretty much like, until Tony goes on Mondays or Fridays, he's nothing like me. Which whatever, you can have your boat. But I
Yeah.
saw a thing the other day.
And
Said,
Tony is
it said,
like,
imagine if they had.
I'm not trying to go to Mondays because that would be stupid. I just want to be over here and do my own thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like, well, it is. It would be stupid, and it's dumb. Like, it's dumb. I wouldn't want to watch.
Yeah,
two
you remember
things at
TNA?
once. That got killed.
Who was involved in that big thing? Hogan and Bischoff.
Yeah.
You big fucking dummies.
Yeah. No, but I saw a tweet
speaking-
the other day. It said, imagine if they had Twitter during the Monday Night Wars.
It'd been
DX
crazy.
and
That would've
all
been
them
insane.
bitches would be in trouble. DX would be in so much
But-
trouble if they had the internet back then.
Phenomenal
Yeah, I know.
podcast to listen to because they actually spoke about. They've been speaking about all of that shit with TNA. Listen to Jeff Jarrett's podcast, My World. Like they go in deep about the behind the scenes of the whole of TNA from its creation, financials, even these details like that about he went in about Hogan and Bischoff and all of them and how their deals were set up to work certain things. Like just listen to that show. But
Yeah.
since we're on WWE, we didn't talk. We left a huge gap between a lot of content. How did y'all feel about the Saudi show? I thought it was actually a really
So,
really
yeah,
good
so
show.
when-
we talked about that
Yeah,
earlier.
Yeah, so when you left, we talked about it briefly, very briefly. But yeah, we were on the same agreement. So it was really good. Mostly Woods winning was obviously the best part.
Woods and Zelina.
And that Hell in a Cell match was great.
Yeah, the
too,
Hell in
by
a
the
Cell
way.
was good too.
Like when Seth was on the thing, was it the turnbuckle or the ropes? And Edge like threw him. He bounced off the cage to the table. Like
Went
that was
through the
dope.
table. I was like, yo,
Like that. Like
Yeah.
you know, like granted that shit hurts. Like we all know that shit hurts. But I looked at that like, wow. Like I know right now he's in pain. Yeah, I thought it was
Like,
a
the
great
only
show.
thing- the
honestly,
only thing
I thought
about-
it was the best show, the best Saudi show.
Yeah, by far. The only things that disappointed me about that show, and I'm sorry I missed it before. I was listening, but I was also, again
Shenanigans.
talking about New York. Yeah, shenanigans of what's going on my job. Garbage truck finally came, so I had to go down and get rid of everything because that's a part of what's going on. The garbage is being left out there, but another story for another day. So I didn't hear what y'all was saying. But
Because he got the Glock in the
the
pig.
only few things I didn't. There you go. But I because of Muslim law and all that, I didn't like the cheesy shirts that the women had to wear because they had to be all covered up. I respect I respect their culture. I respect what they did. It just felt like it to me. It felt like the women were uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying?
So wait, let
And
me ask you though,
I,
how many? Is this the first Saudi show you really watched though?
probably in full? Yes, in full. Yes,
Yeah, because
in
I was
full.
gonna say they've always been wearing that since the thing they did
Yeah,
better. Sorry,
no.
I'm gonna let you finish this. From the first match with Lacey and Natalia, they weren't even allowed to wear makeup or anything. Now I notice little things like that, like they had makeup and shit on, like because I was curious like what Bianca was gonna do essentially. But yeah, sorry, go.
Yeah.
But no,
No,
that's
all
definitely
good, all good.
uncomfortable.
It was just I understood. I kind of understood going in because of the cultural rules and cultural laws. But that it just they
Mhm.
looked uncomfortable to me,
And then
and the shirts were cheesy. That was it. Like the shirts
Yeah.
were corny.
my thing that made me kind of uncomfortable and about the whole thing, being that they were in Saudi, being that they have a prince and all that shit out there, and then they was coming out there doing King of the Ring, and you know how people get about shit. Is like, well, I'm a real prince, and he's
Yeah.
coming out here proclaiming he's a king and shit,
Well,
and I was just like, oh boy.
Yeah, that was. And
that's
then
like
I thought they were gonna get some
Dr. Dre
backlash for
being a
Riddle.
doctor.
Huh?
I thought they were gonna get some backlash for Riddle coming out on a camel.
I don't know. I think
Which
they
I
was
thought
all
was
for that. It was
hysterical.
like, oh, he's riding Bessie Lou.
I thought that was great though, the
Stereotyping.
camel. I thought it would have been better if they both did it though.
It would have been better if he RKO'd the camel.
Hey, how many? If you guys watched the whole show, how many months until they signed that silver medal dude that knocked out Ali?
Oh, they
never.
won't. That was
They
just a
won't.
special attraction.
That was a special attraction
just
because
a
they did that
special
on another
attraction.
show with the sumo wrestler guy. Remember?
Yeah, because that was the first one. Because the prince asked for Yokozuna, R.I.P. He said, "Can Yokozuna come?" And that dude been dead.
Long time.
So Vince brought in someone.
Yeah.
That's insane.
No, but
yeah,
the
I
card
thought it was a good
overall, I
show.
think it was phenomenal. It's phenomenal matches, but I looked at the they really had me thinking they was gonna have Dewdrop get over, or go over, but it just the Zelina Vega part, like it felt like they owed her that because we all remember
Yes.
what happened when they pulled the thing from the 9/11 show. Like it felt like they owed her that. That's
Yeah.
kind of the other thing. I was like,
And then I
but
like
the
she won
the
because
shirts were just
cosplay.
corny.
She won because cosplay. She gonna do some bomb ass
The thing
cosplay as a queen.
Oh yeah.
You know what my favorite thing, though, about AEW is, though? It brings up WWE's pay-per-views. I would say in like the past 6 months, WWE hasn't really had an awful pay-per-view, and it's because they know they can't afford to. Like even Extreme
Right.
Rules that only had one extreme match was still a decent pay-per-view.
Normal rules. It was normal.
Yeah, normal rules pay-per-view. But even then, it was good. So that's what I like. That's the biggest thing is like they've been performing pay-per-view wise.
And then also you talk
Raw
about
sucks though.
Also, you talk about pay-per-views and everything. I mean, they just released their slate of their up-and-coming pay-per-views and whatnot, which a lot of the ones that we were complaining about are omitted from that list. And
they're doing the Saturday thing. I think the Saturday is the best part of it all. Right when AEW first released and they did their first like few on Saturdays, I was like, that is the best thing possible.
Yes.
No one's got work really for the most part. A lot of people have Sunday off. And just like it gives you more of that big fight feeling. You don't see boxing matches and UFC fights on a Sunday.
Well, also too though, you got to look at the transition in times and how people hang out and stuff. Plus, obviously the pandemic, but there's no more clubs, so it's not Saturdays aren't a big club night anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And wrestling fans are going to be home now on Saturdays when they know a pay-per-view is going to be on. But also, too, thinking about it, because AEW was kind of consistently doing theirs on Saturdays for the most part, maybe this was WWE's transition to try to combat them again. Just a little thought that I had now,
Maybe.
and then it'll
So
just make
do
Tony
you
move
mean,
it
do you
to
mean
Sunday.
like? Oh, because I was gonna say, looking at the schedule, whatever pay-per-view as of right now, WWE has scheduled in Saturday is usually the same night as All Out, which I think is a very ballsy move because All Out, no, it's not really decided yet, but pretty much All Out and Double or Nothing are like the mania of it. So that's kind of ballsy, I'll say.
Yeah,
But
Mania
one
and
thing they're
SummerSlam.
getting right too. One thing they're getting right too is Nick Khan. This is all him. Like, he's smart, booking Money in the Bank in a stadium, 4th of July weekend, gonna make bank. Then SummerSlam's in August, right? Isn't it the end of July now? I mean, I think it's the end of July now in Nashville. Nashville's always popping. Like, I'll say Nick Khan's doing good things when it comes to shit like that, I think.
And again, look at the states. Look at the states that they're
Mhm.
in. Goes back to what we spoke about in the beginning of the show.
Yeah, no,
Goes
you're
back
right,
to
because
that.
I remember, if you remember me saying in the chat, there's not one single California pay-per-view announced. And I don't think New York either. I know they have Boston and Providence. They had Chicago. They had, I forget who else they had.
Hell,
to be
they even
honest.
talk
I
about
think it's
doing
Nashville.
they even talk about doing pay-per-views in the UK.
I think they'll do a SummerSlam there. Not this year, obviously, because it's Nashville. I think the year after. I'd like for them to do a Mania overseas somewhere one day. I think that'd be dope. Did they ever? I know they did that one SummerSlam in where? Was it Australia? In Sydney, right? Way back?
I'm not 100%
That's when British
sure.
Bulldog won or some shit. They did one in like UK or Australia or something back in the day.
Speaking of the British Bulldog or whatever, you seen how what was that? Serena Deeb and freaking Sheeta, how they did the freaking Bulldog finish with the pin? How he pinned Brett and won the IC title?
Because that was Sheeta's 50th win, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Technically, it's her 51st because she already had her 50th match or whatever at when they went to the big show they did, I think it was New York or some shit like that. They already did it.
Right.
They did it on like a Dark or a Rampage, one of them shits or whatever, but they never showed it. So they used the Serena and all them shit.
Yeah.
Right.
But boys,
yeah.
all set here.
Mhm.
Wrapping on up.
Yeah, wrap that titties up.
Titty meats.
But I am intrigued. I am pleasantly entertained by all that is going on with professional wrestling as it is. Sucks about Ring of Honor, but it opens the door still for many opportunities all around. And this Saturday, I'm going to see my local indies. I'm going to see all the players down here in Houston, Texas at New Texas Pro Wrestling. So it's great. It's great.
Mm-hmm. Got to send
And
some
anybody
photos.
knows anything in the New York, New Jersey area, please. I like now, I more than ever, I want to get into the business somehow, some way. Whether it's not really in ring because I don't think I'm physically there for that. But
hey man, they got some people that aren't really physically there for that, and they still doing it.
Yeah, no, it's true indeed. But starting out at 41, approaching 42 years old. I mean, the Butcher started late. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, DDP started late.
DDP.
Yeah, look at Bobby
Roode.
Roode. He's 45.
Yeah,
but he's been doing it for 20 plus. I haven't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Anyway, stop making excuses
just
and do that shit.
Anyway. No, yeah, but I mean, just any way to get in the business, man. If there's a promotion, y'all know, hit us up, hit a brother, hit one of them up to send
GCW
it to me.
Practically lives in the showboat.
South Jersey, though. That's South Jersey. That's an hour and a half, 2 hour drive for me. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
there's closer. I know there's closer, but I gotta look it up. This is true. This is true.
Word.
But this is dope, y'all. This was definitely a hella random conversation.
Mm-hmm.
We was all over
when y'all was talking COVID while I was on the phone.
So Rob, hear me out before before I close. So, Rob, I got an idea. I need you to hear me out. What's one thing we got in common?
That we were in the military.
All right. So I'm not going to re-enlist. We're going to go to whatever company you want. And we're going to wrestle in boots and utes, and we're going to be called the Devil Dogs. Is this a
Word.
thing or is this a thing? Or
Fuck
is
it,
this
we
a
can do
thing?
it. Fuck it, we'll do it.
Imagine.
We'll do it. We'll do it. Fuck it. I got my cat. On the other side of this door is a Tupperware with my camis and boots still in it.
Right? Right?
But
And
you
we
got-
got the
you
perfect
gotta do an
story.
old
We
school
got
name.
photos of. Right? We got
You
photos
gotta
of
do
us
an
from
old school name.
events,
G.I. Bro
going to
1 and
events
2 and
together.
3.
Yep.
You gotta be
The
G.I.
Devil
Bros
Dogs.
2 and 3 though.
Yeah.
G.I.
Yeah,
Bros 2
G.I.
and
Bros.
3.
Rob, that's a cheap plug. We're now known as the GI Bros.
Fuck
We're
it.
a tag team.
We already the APA. Fuck it.
We're the APA of the military.
We the AP. We the
The
APA
Alcohol
bros.
Protection Agency.
The choices were made. Protection agency.
This is for me protection.
The-
But yeah,
Team,
that's
I
all I had
forgot
to
my
say.
flip-flops.
I had to end it on that note. But yes, I had a great time. Great
All right.
time as always.
But
Team, I forgot my flip flops.
yeah. Team burnt the damn skin off the bottom of my motherfucking feet. I'll never do that shit again. But
Hey,
anyway,
you never did those GoPro videos. Hold on, wait. You never did those GoPro videos. I've never seen them.
oh man, I got them right here. I'm trying to figure out where I can put them to where you can still use the 3D shit. So you can
I just
actually
wanna see
turn
'em
your phone and
eventually.
see it or whatever. But I'll probably throw them on YouTube because I think it's
Okay.
compatible. So yeah, I'll do it soon. But anyway,
All right.
on behalf of myself,
Anyway.
Nick Anicelli, the mayor with the hair down here. Luscious. I wish I can grow mine.
Getting there, it's getting there. It's soft too.
This is luscious.
Oh yeah, I need to bring that back too. I need to bring that back. I need to bring promo in the back because back in my day when we did this podcast, we had promo in the bank. You know, we hit the button and the music would play, and somebody had to cash in on somebody. But anyway,
I might have been the last person to give it to somebody too. Yeah, I was.
yeah,
Because I gave it to Mitch the last time.
yeah, you were. Oh, my phone dinged. That means it's time to go. Bye.